is the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Kingwell and Krissy Vann. That's me. And we're taking you on a little off-roading.
And every single week, we're going to be joined by our dope friend, Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Woo! Hey, I floss.
And every week, we're going to ask each other stupid questions, and we're going to answer them. And why, you may ask? Because we can. All right, this is your Motovation.
Off-road edition.
What's something that's on trend right now that you think in about, like, I don't know, 5 years, we're all going to look back collectively and be like, oh, for the love of God, I can't believe we thought that looked good. Or people used to wear that, do that.
Well, my neighbor wears a bee hat, even though she has no bees. Do other people do that? Is that on trend?
You can go your own way.
I thought about buying one just in case it was cool.
Just like, just have it ready. Oh yeah, I've got one of those.
One might say she's beating to her own drum.
Krissy's the queen of puns. Amazing.
Oh my gosh. I thought I'm missing out. I had no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that wasn't exactly what I had in mind as far as like a collective trend, but I think that's amazing. That was a great answer.
I'm really curious on social down the line, less so what we're wearing, but all the dances. It's like you look at the Macarena, and that really has transcended time in a sense that you know what it is, but it's so ridiculous. But now TikTok has evolved and there's these dances all the time. What will we think about the hours spent of learning these and putting them in public? I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I'm here for it. Love the creativity and the boldness, but what will
like the jazzercising that they used to do in the 70s, right? Like,
yes.
And then you do the neck and then you do the thing, and they do it in the tights. Like that's funny as all heck. And I think in 10, 20 years, we're going to die over these TikToks and be like, these idiots.
They're like, your mom did that? You're like, yeah, in our kitchen.
Every day.
Okay. Mine is the eyebrow situation. I'm positive we're all going to look back and be like, we drew caterpillars on our faces.
I thought you meant like that we have eyebrows.
No, that we like, how we fill in our eyebrows, and some have gotten pretty intense, the thickness of it and and I have a feeling, okay, here's the thing, a little foreshadowing. So I don't think it's coming out of nowhere. I remember in high school in the 90s and early 2000s where it was the thing to really, the more slender, the better for your eyebrows. Mm-hmm. And I had the thinnest eyebrows. And on my graduation picture, it looks like I have no eyebrows whatsoever.
I'm so with you. God. Except I overplucked one side to the point I had not only the thinnest eyebrows, but half an eyebrow. And the irony of this is I actually don't fill mine in. I have extremely dark brunette hair. My whole mission in life now is just trying to make sure they don't amalgamate into one brow.
Yeah.
Just that middle patch got to go.
I hear you, Krissy. The other half of this one is drawn because it never grew back. So I have a quarter of my eyebrow that just was like, you know what? You don't deserve me. You don't deserve me. You have mistreated me.
Nobody told me about these brow things. I literally went into every picture with buck teeth, curly red hair, this birthmark, and my eyebrows were as bushy as they got. And I smiled over it. I had no idea.
I had a bit of a unibrow in grade 7, but I just went with it until I found the tweezers, and then everything went to shit. I thought, you know what? If one goes, they all go.
I'm into a good unibrow.
Never leave a soldier behind. Or no, that's the opposite. Not mine. Someone else's dog.
That's my dog.
Oh, I was like, I don't know whose dog. My dogs they're like, I hate you so much. That's my dog saying that to me right now.
I really don't like your eyebrows.
Yeah. She's like, I don't like you and I don't like your eyebrows.
The worst situation you've been in without your phone.
I know. A close friend of mine and I had this outrageously rando couple of days, and we were sober. It was just the kind of ridiculous, like we got my brother's truck stuck in this ditch. And the mud was up to the wheel well. And we finally got a tow truck to come, and I had to sneak into my mom's because I was full of mud trying to get it out and then get it cleaned. And then we had to drive it to my brother in Lloydminster and swap cars. And I bought us lunch, and I had no more money on my debit card. So all I had was like, I think I had $5 left. And I put $5 of gas to get us in from Lloydminster to North Battleford, which is in an hour and a half drive. We ran out of gas. We could see North Battleford. We were so close, right on the side of the highway, and had to run in then to borrow a quarter from someone to use the payphone. I would have been 22 at the time. And I didn't have my cell phone. And I remember we were almost happy about it because it made the adventure so much that more ridiculous, because we constantly were having to run to the road to get flagged down cars to then use their cell phones. Like even the tow truck, we had to flag someone down. It was just a disaster, but it was the funniest 2 days in the universe. So yeah, that was but it worked out because it made it that much more entertaining. But it was like,
it was an adventure.
But exactly. Could have used a phone so many times.
I don't even have a story. I don't even know. I always have my phone.
That's smart. It sucks when you're without it in need.
Even like if I go somewhere without a phone, I have like a walkie-talkie. And then, I just like, I know that I need to be connected.
What do you mean a walkie-talkie? Who's on the other line? Who's on the other end of the walkie-talkie?
I mean, I usually have two, right? So then I give somebody that's like back at camp or something, like the other talkie. And then
let's think it ahead.
If I need help. Yeah. If I need some help or I don't know. I'm sure I'll think of it at some point, but I've been thoroughly connected for quite some time. And even before phones existed, you'd write mail or whatever.
Pigeons.
Prepared for life. I've had a few incidents, but one that was terribly frustrating is I had moved to Vancouver and really wanted to take part in the polar bear dip. But it was the December I'd moved out here. It always happens on New Year's Day. It's actually where the concept originated. And I think it's either this year or it's past, has reached 100 years of tradition. So big deal. But I was new here. I had no friends, nobody. And I was like, I don't care. I want to go do this polar bear dip. So never having seen the event before, I didn't realize it's quite popular. There was like thousands of people on the beach. So the problem is because traffic was so bad, my husband dropped me off and I was like, it's fine. Like, we're not going to get anywhere close. I don't want to miss this. So I'm like, I'm just going to go and I'll figure it out. And then I'll call you where to pick me up after. It's not going to take that long. I find a little patch to put my stuff down. And I was like, it's cool. Like, made some new polar bears friends and they're all in costumes. It's craziness. So I was like, all right, I'm going to put it near the Vikings, let's say, and I'll know to come back. So I go and do my dip, super exhilarating, super cold day though. It was one of those really rare BC Januaries where we actually were quite below freezing. And what you think happened is not what happened. No one stole my phone, but because it was so cold, my phone died while it was abandoned there. So now I'm in this crowd of thousands of people in a city that I don't know at all, wet in the heart of January in Canada. And let me tell you what I learned that day. When you're the straggly, wet girl with an ice cream cone top shower cap on her head, please to borrow a phone, no one really wants to lend it to you. And finally, a kind soul did, and I was able to get my ride. But it was a terribly inconvenient time to be cold, wet, and in need of a ride and a phone.
That sounds so uncomfortable.
Oh, especially being wet and cold, and you're just like, oh, can't wait to hop in the car. And then, scooch, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Disconnected.
Oh my gosh. You think of like all the times before cell phones were a thing. I remember the first cell phone, if you will, that I ever saw was my cousin Sean. We were at the farm and he's quite a bit older than me. So I think he would have been about 19 years old at the time. I probably was, 11, 12. And he came in with this huge bag over his shoulder. And he was like, check out the cell phone I got. And it was a huge cord and this thing. And it hooked up to this huge battery. And I was like, you can take that anywhere you want. And he's like, anywhere? anywhere I want. And I was just like, that is insane. And he was like, you betcha. And then he put his big satchel back on and maneuvered. Or my aunt had a car phone. A car phone?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was,
We
I
had
even
one
looked
that
back.
we were
That's
like,
crazy.
we were like not allowed to use it because it was so expensive. It was like, we have this, but God forbid you dial a number on that thing. You will be grounded.
My dad
for
had
life.
the briefcase where he'd run down from the job site because the thing would ring in his car, and he'd run down, get to the briefcase, open it up like 007. Hello. Okay, what brand of socks are you wearing right now?
What?
Pumas. Costco special. And it actually, fun fact,
Tells a lot about
me,
somebody.
I'm currently not wearing socks, but I rarely have matching socks in my life. For sure not. Oh my gosh. All the time they're mismatched. I'm just like, a sock is a sock is a sock.
Laurie, she just told us that she ate Wonder Bread and mayo for the majority of her life.
And that's what shocked me, is that she wears mismatched socks. She's like, I'm just like, blasphemy. Like,
I do not understand.
Yeah, she's like, I murdered my cousin once. I'm like, it happens. She's like, but I don't wear the same matching socks. Good God. What's wrong with you?
Do you even brush at night?
Yeah. Now you're going to tell me you brush only 8 times a day.
After the mayonnaise, it really gets in there.
Yeah.
I see that. Laurie, what kind of socks do you wear, bud? What's the brand? Wait, let me guess. Roots.
No. Oh God, that's what you think
Winners.
of me. See, here's the thing. I'm very much that person where there's a sock for a specific shoe and there's a specific color for a specific shoe. When it comes to what I wear, I don't overthink it, but I do have a protocol. You iron your jeans, you iron your clothes. I don't do that anymore, but I definitely, like, things are pressed in a way that, as I say it out loud, I realize how OCD I am. Yeah. If I'm on the road, if I'm on, like, literally we're motorbiking, I remember turning my long underwear. I kept having to turn them inside out because didn't have much time in between washing. And I was
What's
like,
a long underwear?
What?
What is
Underwear?
What is that? Like an extremely long panty? Like, does it dip low? What do you mean? What is that? Is it like a thong that doesn't go all the way to your crotch? It just like has a long string down the middle. What on earth?
Wait a minute.
I'm not even sure I'm a female right now because I don't know what that is. You go camp,
everyone, guys, girls, they, them, everyone wears long underwear.
It's what? My underwear is tight to my legs.
Like long johns. Long johns?
Oh, a long john. That's not underwear.
Yes, it is. You wear it underneath your clothes, just like you wear underwear underneath your clothes.
Oh my God. Is underwear called underwear because it goes under your clothes?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Wow, another thing you just found out this late in life that you had no idea about.
My mind.
Wow.
We digressed. I forgot where we were.
I didn't even care anymore. I was just so into every little pathway we went on.
I stuck on my loafers and put them on a 4-wheel.
Strapped on the back of those Crocs and
got the back of them Crocs up.
You just went off-roading with the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and myself, Krissy Vann.
And of course, a special thank you to Richelle from True Get Moto.
Whoop, boss it.
Never miss an episode by hitting like or subscribe. Connect with us on Instagram at Motovation Podcast and visit our website at themotovation.com. And in the meantime, full tanks, full throttle.
I think this is good though. It's like healthy, like people will be like, oh my God, I don't floss.
Plus, it's gonna be so hard not to laugh to get through this intro.